Welcome back to the channel. It's week 13 on the Mustang build. Things have been pretty busy lately and I haven't been able to put as much time into the build as I want to. But I've got some free time right now, so let's make something.
Here's a recap of what I built last week, and this week we're going to focus on building this corner. The humidity is just wreaking havoc on my work. I'm going to have to come back and clean this up. But the next thing I need to do is make this section. The challenge will be to match this corner and still cover up this area. And I think I'll come in afterwards and try to fill these separately. To figure out how to do this, I just took some scrap metal and ran it through my various tools just to see how they're going to get the metal to move.
So here's what I came up with. Took a piece of board and cut out the general shape, took a round over bit, and shaped this out to get that radius. I'm going to take my piece of metal, cut out a chunk, throw it on here. I'm going to shape it out to this form. And then in the end, I'll come back and trim off the exit.
I started with the jig, and then I bounced back and forth between the jig and the shrinker, checking it against the door for fit each time. I did this process several times in order to get the piece into the general shape I wanted. Once I got it close, I started using the flat surface of the bench to start refining it a little more. And thanks to Movie Magic, I'm able to show you about an hour and a half's worth of work in less than 1 minute.
And here's the final piece. I've already cut it down to size, and I used a little heat to try to stretch the metal and flatten that part out. As you can see, we are really close to the right shape. But we aren't quite there. So, I'm going to rebuild it. I'll spare you the remake. Go ahead and show you, this is the new one. Turned out much better. I made it with the same process as I did the previous one, with 3 exceptions. First thing I did was screw the sheet metal down to the jig so it didn't move on me so much. The second thing I did was I took the offcut from the jig and I screwed that to my workbench, and I used that to be able to get the inside curve a little more refined. And finally, I ran this through the English wheel when I was done to give it a more refined finish appearance. Alright, I've got my 2 pieces here. Give you an idea of the difference. Here's the first piece I made. We got some gaps towards the bottom. Not quite the right circumference around that door. And here's the second one. Fits like a glove. So now I just need to do a little bit of trimming to make it fit right, and it's ready to weld. So the last few weeks have been very busy for me, and I haven't been able to get as much time on my project as I want. And it benefits me that I happen to be working on this door in the time that this happened, because I can take the little time that I have and just focus on each little piece and take the time to make sure I make it right, so when I put it together, everything fits well and it looks like a decent finished product. I don't expect this thing to look perfect when it's done, because the original door was obviously stamped steel into a mold. Well, this is hammered into shape. But I'd like it to be good enough that you really have to take a look at it to tell the difference between what I built and what the factory came out. And that takes time and practice and patience. But in my opinion, the project is about the journey. It's a little bit shorter video than usual, but even a little bit of work is progress. We should be able to start welding on the door next week and then move on to the next big issue. So thanks for watching, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.